The Papal Conclave, the dramatic process of electing a new pope. Pope Francis faithfully led the Catholic Church, but as he reached the age of 88 and his health declined, the time ultimately arrived for the Church to turn once more to its centuries-old tradition. The Papal Conclave, to choose his successor. The Papal Conclave, a highly secretive and deeply spiritual event, will take place in Vatican City, drawing global attention to this sacred process. What is a papal conclave? A papal conclave is the process by which the College of Cardinals elects a new pope. The term comes from the Latin conclave, meaning with a key, referencing the tradition of locking the cardinals away in seclusion until they reach a decision. The papal conclave ensures the selection is made free from external influence and is seen as a sacred act, guided by the Holy Spirit. Have conclaves always been the way to elect a new pope? In the early centuries of the Church, popes were chosen in various ways. The selection often involved clergy and lay people in Rome, but this sometimes led to conflicts, political interference, and lengthy delays in naming a successor. The longest delay occurred after the death of Pope Clement IV in 1268, when the election process dragged on for nearly 3 years. To resolve this issue, the Second Council of Lyons in 1274 formalized the papal conclave system. This new rule required cardinals to be secluded in a locked room to speed up the decision-making process. If they didn't reach a decision quickly, their food rations were reduced, a rule that proved effective, as conclaves became significantly shorter thereafter. Are conclaves always held in the Sistine Chapel? Not always, but they have been for the past several centuries. The Sistine Chapel was first used for a papal conclave in 1492, and since 1878, every conclave has been held there. The chapel's breathtaking frescoes by Michelangelo, including the iconic The Last Judgment, provide a solemn and inspiring backdrop for the cardinals' decision-making. Before the 20th century, cardinals lived and slept in Vatican palaces during the papal conclave, often in uncomfortable conditions. That changed in 1996, when Pope John Paul II established the Domus Sanctae Marthae, a guest house within the Vatican where the electors now stay. However, they still conduct all voting and discussions in the Sistine Chapel. Who's eligible to be pope? Contrary to popular belief, any baptized male Catholic can be elected pope. While it is almost always a cardinal, there is no formal requirement that the pope must come from within their ranks. The last time a non-cardinal was elected was in 1378, when Urban VI became pope. Theoretically, even a layperson could be chosen, though this is highly unlikely given the Church's long-standing tradition of selecting cardinals or high-ranking clergy. Who's allowed to vote in the papal conclave? Only cardinals under the age of 80 are eligible to vote in the papal conclave. As of today, there are 137 voting-eligible cardinals. The number of voting cardinals is typically capped at 120, but in exceptional cases, the Pope can exceed this number. How does voting work in the papal conclave? The election follows a structured process designed to maintain secrecy and fairness. Oath of secrecy. Each cardinal takes an oath of absolute secrecy before voting begins. Any breach of secrecy results in automatic excommunication. Balloting. Each cardinal writes the name of their preferred candidate on a paper ballot, which is then folded and placed into a chalice. Vote counting. The ballots are counted and verified. If no candidate receives a 2/3 majority, the votes are burned with a chemical additive to produce black smoke, signaling to the public that no decision has been reached. Repeating the process, 2 ballots are conducted each morning and afternoon. If no candidate secures a 2/3 majority after multiple rounds, the process may shift to a simple majority vote. Election of a new pope. Once a cardinal receives the necessary votes, he is asked if he accepts the role. Upon acceptance, white smoke is released from the Sistine Chapel chimney, signifying to the world that a new pope has been chosen. What happens to the new pope when he's elected? Once elected, the new pope chooses a papal nomina tradition dating back to Pope John II in 533. He is then escorted to the Room of Tears in the Sistine Chapel, where he dons his white papal vestments. The fisherman's ring, symbolizing the pope's authority, is placed on his finger. The cardinals then pledge their obedience to the new pontiff. Shortly thereafter, the new pope is introduced to the world from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, where he delivers his first address, known as the Urbi et Orbi, to the city and the world. If you're in Rome at this time, gathering in St. Peter's Square offers a once-in-a-lifetime chance to witness history being made.